Okay, Linux assignments, how many of you are going through that? So if you observe that, yeah, good. Jagadish, Karthik, Ramsai, Anil. Okay. December 11th you participated, huh? December 15th. 18, only 5 or 6 members, huh? So what's happened? Why you are not attending these assignments? Remaining people? What's happened? Yeah, it's almost so it's coming to the end of this session, Linux. But everyone has to participate it and try to complete the exams. So this is a mandatory section. So if you're expecting that like certification from our side, yes, you need to participate actively in that, and that is very, very important. And coming to AWS, yeah, AWS wise, it's good. That is from batch 50. Yeah, so 1 or 2 members, that's fine. But yes, it's good. But what about the Linux? What's happened? We don't want the Linux. Okay, assignment answers are not provided from past 5 exams. Okay, actually he is on the leave, the Gopi. That's why like maybe you didn't get that. I'll try to check it and let me know either today or tomorrow, getting all the answers. Good point. Thank you for it. Yes, anyone having any points or anything which you would like to discuss? Okay, so now let's move into that the Python. So where we were left. So from there, we start about it and we go ahead with that. Yeah, we were understanding this in the last section about the dictionary. Before the tuple, and before that it was list as the collection of the data to manage it. But the list and tuple, yes, we were understanding that index based, and the dictionary is key based values to get it. Yes, it is going to use it, key-based items. And how do we define this? The dictionary is, yes, curly braces, which you can use it that. And then where you can define this items. So, but how do we define this one item is? So it should be defined with key, colon, and value. So key and then colon, value, comma. So this is the first item and this is the second item. But item key, it should be either string or you can use it either integer, no issues. And value, it could be any data type. Yes, you can store that value as either string or integer or float or boolean or list or tuple or another dictionary as a value. Yes, we can store that the values any data type, but key, so you should use it either string or integer. Yeah, that is the definition of the dictionary. Then we were understanding the CRUD operation. That is how do we like assign those new elements, or how do you add the new elements in the dictionary? You can use it that direct straightforward assignment operator. So equals is nothing but assignment, right? Yes, you can specify that the which key and what is the value. Yes, you can use it assignment operator to add the element within the dictionary. So here there is no specific order, right? The dictionary is not going to use that order based. It is going to use it key based. If it is a list, then we need to use it index number. Or if you append that, the last element is that whatever you are adding, the latest one, that will be added last element. But in the dictionary, yes, it will be added that at the last, but there is no specific index number for it. So it is going to use the key based, key and a value. Yeah, this is the assignment. You can add that the elements to the list. Dictionary. Even you can do that update also. Yeah, you can, update also, it is kind of like assignment. Yeah, you can specify the key, but key should be available, existing one. That existing key, you can specify that which key do you want to update the value, and you can assign the new value. Yeah, assignment operator, you can use it for adding or updating in the CRUD operation. But how do we read it? Read operation is, yes, within the square brackets, you can define the key. Which value you would like to get it, that value related key you can identify it, and key you can use it to read the item. That is about read operation. So creating or updating, that is like normal assignment. There is no the specific, when you don't need to use it any specific function. But in the list, we were using append function. But here we don't need that any function. You can directly use that assignment operation. But how do we delete that? Yeah, here you can use the pop function. Even in the list also we have the pop function. Is dictionary also we have the pop, and you can specify that the pop with the key, then that key will be deleted. Or we can use the delete keyword also, del keyword. Del and then dictionary name, and if you specify the key, that item will be deleted from the dictionary. Or how you can clear that list of all items from the dictionary is, clear is that one function which is available from the dictionary. We can use it, that function. Yeah, this is about CRUD operations. How do you perform it on the dictionary? Then we were understanding that some more examples. Yes, the dictionary, yes, as we are talking about it, key and a value. Value should be any data type. It should be string, or it should be integer, or it should be like a tuple, or you can use it the list. Yeah, this was the example which we are understanding. But how do we read that? The elements of the dictionary is, yes, you can use the first key. Suppose if I need to get that enter value, then you can first use the key. This key is going to return the tuple. Then on the base of the index number, you can read that the value in this tuple. As we are understanding, this is the notation. Sorry. Yeah, so these are all things, and we can assign that, yes, the within the dictionary, if you have this any list, within the list, if you have that any item, and if I would like to change that item, yes, you can change it. That is also we are observing that. Yeah, this is the notation where it is going to assign the value. Yeah, this was the stuff which we are trying to understand in the last section. Are you clear about that on this section? So please type that the CLR in the chat window about the data types. So we discussed the string, we discussed that integer, we discussed the float, we discussed that the Boolean, and we discussed about the collection data types. Sorry. A collection data type, that is about a list, tuple, and a dictionary. So type that the CLR quickly in the chat window, everyone. I see there's some responses, it's good. Or if you have any queries, questions, please let me know. Sorry, today I'm having a little bit throat infection, so just bear with me. Okay, so good. So let's move into this next activity is, yes, any program you are learning that. So after knowing that the variables and variables related data types, the next thing is control flow. Control flow. Control flow, like about which we have that, the conditional based control flow to define it. Conditional based the statements or iteration based statements. These are all going to helping that the flow of the execute. I mean, yeah, the flow, control flow is nothing but executing the statement. Now, by default, Python uses that the one by one, right? Sequence of that, the statements which are defined that. Yes, this is first statement or next statement, third, fourth, like that, it is going to executing that. But can we control it? Yes, that is we are going to talk it that. That is about, let me create separate directory for the next Python files, whatever I'm going to create it. That is control flow. Let me create new Python file here. First one is we are going to use that if condition. Yeah, if you know that any one of the programming language, that could be C or C++ or Java or Shell, then we know that these the if else conditions and all those. But let's go ahead. Before understanding that this control flow, we need to know that some operators. Already we discussed some operators. Can you give me the name of the operators which we discussed? Name of the operators which we discussed. Different types of the operators we are understanding. What we added so far. Do you remember that? Yeah, arithmetic operators. Yes. Arithmetic plus minus so, I mean multiplication, division, and as well as the remainder how to get it. So these are all some points we are talking that. Yes. Next. Anything else which we had it? String operators also we are talking that. Yeah, the string. That is a plus and asterisk, especially which we discussed. Plus is concatenation of the strings and asterisk is multiplication of the same string. Number of times if you would like to generate the same string, we can use the string multiplication symbol. Okay, what else? Boolean is a data type that is not operator, right? Yeah, Boolean operators. Okay, fine. But we didn't discuss that Boolean operators, right? Bitwise operators we discussed. Bitwise, logical and logical or exclusive or, yes, bitwise operators we had it. If I remember the correctly, so there are the different operators which we discussed so far. Arithmetic operators, yes, which we can apply that on integers or floats. And a string data type, which we can apply that on the string data types. Bitwise operators, yes, you can use it like either integers, which we are using, string operators, which we are using with some comparisons. Yeah, these are all the different operators we are understanding that. But next we will move into that. Before talking about that if conditions, we need to know that one more thing, the logical operators. Logical operators we'll call it, or in some of the program you say that relational operators also. But what are the different logical operators are available is, so if you just try to get that in our the mass, yes, less than or equal to. or greater than or greater than equal to. And we have the some more else like double equals. This is also like a comparison. They're all like, we can say comparison operators also. Comparison, and especially we are using that logical operators. Yes. So double equals or not equals. So this is about, sorry, this is about not equals. Yeah, these are all the different logical operators are available. Yeah, first we try to understand, I mean, if you're going to work with that if else conditions, the first you should know these logical operators. So I'm not going to talk about that. How do we define the conditional based statements? We'll come back to that. But first of all, how do we use it these operators? What about the return values? If I use it these logical operators. So we try to understand that those points first. Then we'll come back to that using these logical operators in the control flow. Now I'm not going to talk in the control flow, but first we are going to talk it that to define the control flow, first we should know the operators. Yeah, those operators we are going to talk at that. So normally, so let me show that's the one like suppose if I define the 10 equal to 10. So what is the meaning of this one? The most, I mean, that's like a first, if you are in that initial programming, then we will get that some confusion about that equals and a double equals. So here I have used equals. What is the meaning of this one? What it is going to return that? It's going to return that a true value. Suppose if I run the program, what it is going to say that? It is saying this, I mean, error, not that like a true. Why it is going to return the true here? I use that single equal. So I'm trying to assign the 10 value to the 10. We cannot assign this, right? We cannot assign like this. This is assignment. I'm not doing that comparison. But if I would like to compare it, I need to use the double equals. So that's very careful about that. The single equals and double equals. Single equals, suppose as we are understanding, I would like to assign the some value to that A value, A variable. Then A equal to 10, this is the assignment. Here I use that assignment. But here double equals I'm using is nothing but this is comparison. I'm comparing that this value that is left side operand with the right side operand. If both are equals, then it is going to return the true. Otherwise, it will be false. Yes, 10 equal to 10, that is true. Are you clear about this point? Assignment and a comparison. Assignment equal to single equals and comparison equal to double equals. Suppose if I say thus like a 10 equal to something 5. Is it true or false? Type that quickly in the chat window. Is it true or false? Is a false now. Yeah, because 10 is not equal to 5, right? That is going to become the true. But here we have to find that 10 equals to 5. Anyway, anyone knows that the basic mathematics, we can understand that. Yeah, this is the false. Okay, fine. Next, let me define that. Suppose if I define that strings like that, is it going to return the true or false? Everyone, please be active. Is it true or false? Yeah, that is true. Okay. But if I say this is about, is it true or false? Is it true or false? Okay. Is it true? Okay, we are getting some responses as a true and some responses as a false. This is the false in the Python. As if you remember, we are talking about it like ASCII code characters. Capital letter H ASCII is different and small letter H ASCII is different. So it is going to compare with that, not like a string, it is going to compare with internal ASCII codes. So whenever, I mean, here both ASCII codes are the same, but here this caps H and this small h, the ASCII characters are the different, then it returns the false. Now you see that if I run the program, it is returning the false. Okay, suppose let me define one more example. Suppose if I say that 5 is equal to 5, is it true or false? I'm just comparing that integer with a string data type. Is it a true or false? So that's going to return the false because the integer is different and integer ASCII character is different and string ASCII characters are the different, right? If I run the program, so we're getting the false response. Okay, so if I take this and let me comment that these are all for about your reference. I'm just keeping that here. Now suppose if I go for that 5.00, 5 is equal to 5.00. So one variable is integer, another one is float. So what's going to happen that here? Is it a true or false? Is it a true or false? One data type is integer and second data type is a float. Above we are talking that here integer and string, both ASCII characters are different. But here this is the 5 which is integer and this is the float. So is it going to have the true or false? Yes, let's run the program. This is true. Yes, maybe you have that like the decimal points, but whenever it is going to checking about it, yes, this is ASCII and this ASCII both are the same. So decimal point of view, this is a float representation, but actually this belongs to that integer only, right? Both are the same. Okay, this is about equals. That is a comparison, double equals, comparison. Either string you can compare it, integers you can compare it, integers with a string you can compare it. Yeah, the next let's talk it about that less than or greater than. We know it, I mean, these are all also the straightforward, but let's talk it about that, some examples on that. So 5 less than 10. So is it true or false? Obviously, this is true. There is no the big mathematics required. So this is simple straightforward. And if I say this like 5 greater than 10, is it true or false? So this is going to return the the false value, obviously. Okay, good. Suppose if I define that like, let me take it as print of, suppose next condition, if I write like this, 5 is greater than or equal to 5. Is it true or false? Type that quickly. So you just, so if you have this non-computers background, there's a time to come up with that. So is it true or false? The true. So here equals operator, it is going to take that. Now what's going to happen that now? If I define this, is it true or false? $52 is greater than or equal to 5. Yes or no? Obviously, yes, right? Yeah, that is true. But if I say that the 55 here, what's going to happen that? Is it true or false? Yes. The 52 is greater than or equal to 55. No, right? 52 is less than to the 55. So that's why it is written in that, the false. Yeah, this is about the less than, greater than, or less than or equal to, the which you can use it that in the control flow, the comparison. Next, let's use it like a not equals to. Okay, the print 5 is not equal to something 10. Is it true or false? Is it true or false? Suppose if I say this, what is the value here? It is going to return that 5 equal to 10. Is it 5 equal to 10? So this is going to return that actually the false value. But here what we are trying to use it, not operator. 5 is not equal to 10. Is it true or false? That is true, right? Yes. 5 is not equal to 10. How that is? 5 under 10 both are the same. No, both are not same. We are asking that. Yes, both are not same. So it is going to return the true. Suppose if I say that as we are using this scenario, let me try to use it here. So if I use it not equal to operator here, what's going to happen that? Is it true or false? Think it carefully. Some answers I'm getting true, but most of this true. But one answer I got it false. Is it true or false? This statement. See, before what we are trying to understand it, integer and string, if you compare it, they're all not same, right? Yes, we are checking that not same, not equals. Yes, 5 integer is not equal to the 5 string. Is it true or false? What it is going to return now? That is going to return the true. If I use it the equals, then this is the false. Integer ASCII and string ASCII is a different. That is a false. But what I am asking that, yes, both are not same. Yes, we are interpreter, we are asking that both are not same, right? Yes, interpreter is saying that, yes, both are not same. That is true. Are you getting the points about it? not operator. Suppose here we are trying to use it that like a string operator on this. If I try to reuse it in the not equal, what's going to happen that here? If I use the not equals, is it true or false? If you are able to analyze these statements, then you are good in the control flow. That means next if else conditions, whatever we are going to talk it, and if else condition, we are going to use it these relational operators or logical operators only. If you are able to analyze this, this is going to return the true or false, this statement, or this expression, we can say that, or this condition. So if you are able to analyze it, you are good in that, like interpreter, what it is going to do, that next statements. Yeah, so this is the caps high and this is the small high. Both are not different. Yes, we are asking that both are not different. That's why it is written the true. Excuse me. Sorry for that. Yeah, suppose if I use it equals, I am saying that to the interpreter, caps H with a high, small h with a high, both are same. I am saying that both are same, but interpreter is not going to accept that about your statement. It is saying that false. False. Python interpreter is not going to consider that whether it is caps high, small high, these two are the two different. Both are not same. Are you clear about this? Very, very important. If you're able to understand these statements, then you are good with this. Okay, this is about so far we are trying to understand less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, or double equals, that is, or not equals. Fine. But let me introduce some more keywords in this expression itself. What are those? Suppose same statement, I'll take it. So we have some keywords on these logical operators or. Already we discussed in bitwise operators and or operators. Yes, the same thing here, you can use it or. Suppose if I say that like high is not equal to high or 5 is less than 4. So what's going to happen that here? Is it true or false? Can I get more responses? Is it true or false? Here one point which we need to understand that the logical OR is nothing but
if the one operand is true,
yes.
that
True,
statement is
true, then what's going to happen there? So what's going to happen that here?
true, sir.
This is going to become the true. Next. True, and one of that like expression is the false. Then
True,
what's
sir.
going to become that? Is it true or false?
True.
Yes, that will be true only. Suppose yes, left operand is written that false and right operand is true. Then what's going to become that?
True, sir.
Yeah, any one of that is true. either left or right, either one of that is a true, automatically the answer is going to become that true. But what about in this context? The left expression return the false, and right expression return the false. Then what's going to happen with the final result?
False.
False. The same thing which we discussed, that's logical and logical OR. The same points here also. Now let me know that what's going to happen that here. If I try to print this one, so what is the result are you going to have it? So this is what's going to happen that here. Left expression. So what is the value? This is true, right? This is true. Once it is all, once it has become the true, is it required to check that the second that is right side expression? Is it required to check it? So if this is true, is nothing but automatically this entire expression is going to become the true, right? Then what is the need of that checking that the left side expression to this operator? Not required. Anyway, what is the answer we are going to get it? Type that in the chat window, everyone. Always touch with the keyboard. Yes, true. Why it is true? This has become the true. Then automatically this this entire statement is going to become the true. Okay, so if I say that this is equals, let me, for whatever reference, I'm just keeping that each line of the statement. Okay, I'll go ahead after this. Okay, now suppose if I change this one, what's going to happen that now? Type that quickly in the chat window. Is it true or false? So this is first it is going to executing that the left hand expression, left side. This is a false or true? This is a false. Then if it is a false, then it has to check that right side expression also. Then 5 is greater than 4. Yes, 5 is greater than 4. Then this one is a false and this one is a true. What is we are saying that? False and true. We are saying that is going to return the true. Yes, it is written the true. Suppose to get the false, what I need to do? To get the false value, what I need to do? Okay, good. Sorry, so today, so feeling not good, the throat infection. Okay, so let me continue. So what's going to happen in this expression now? So first this one will be, obviously this is a false, then he's trying to checking this one. This is also false, false, false. The interpreter is going to return that entire statement is the false. Yes, we got it, the false. Yeah, this is about the logical OR operator. So this is about logical OR operator. Let me keep this one also after this statement. Okay, now let's move into that logical AND operator. The same I'll take it about it. The example. So instead of the OR, I'm going to use it AND. AND is an inbuilt keyword from the Python. You see that's it is showing that the red color symbol. So that is the inbuilt keyword. Okay. So now, so what is the value here? If we execute this statement, what is the value we are going to get it?
True, sir.
Yeah, so first it is going to execute that left side. This is the true now. And if it is the true, then it is going to try to check it. In case if it is the false, it doesn't come to this side. Because if it is the false, obviously if it is the true also or false also, it is going to become the false, right? But if it is a true, then it is going to check this one. Okay, 5 is greater than 4. Okay, this is also true. True and a true. Then what it is going to return that? Finally, the answer is a true. So this is about logical or and operator. Let me define that. What's going to happen that? In the logical and. Yeah, true and a true. What's going to happen that? What is the value here?
True, sir.
Yeah, true and a true, true.
True.
So what's going to happen that? True and false.
False.
Okay, good. What about this one? False and true,
False.
and false and false.
False.
That is also the false. Good. Only both expressions, left expression and right side expression, both expressions are the true, then only it is going to return that the Python interpreter true. Even this is not only just a Python, in most of the programming languages, these logical and illogical or Boolean, these are all like generic. But how do we use it? The Python, I use it that and keyword. Or we can use it ampersand. That is bitwise operators point of view. But if I move into the shell scripting is going to use that. So this is logical and logical or it is there, but you need to use that. Instead of that and, you need to use the double ampersand. So programming based, the usage of the syntax, it is going to changing that, but concepts are the universal. What are the variable concepts or data types concepts or these yeah, that like before arithmetic operators or that like logical operators, now whatever we are talking, that everything is the generic concepts for any programming language, whether you're going to writing with the script or whether you're going to writing with the program. So these are all the generic, but on the base of the programming language, the syntaxes are going to changing that. Okay, so remaining two cases, if I just run it, let me take it these two also. And I'll try to execute it and we'll see that. So what's going to happen that here and what's going to happen that here. So now out of these three statements, how many of you are true and how many of you are false? What about the first one? Is it true or false? Already we got it the true. Okay. What about the second one? Is it true or false? Yeah, true, false, false. Okay, good. So here, this is going to become the false. Obviously, it is not required to check this one, right? Whenever this expression is false, think it about that interpreter side. No need to check it this section. Even whenever we are analyzing also, if this statement is that false, and if it is the and, then no need to check it the second expression. Save the time. Suppose if I use like this, like, so this is what's going to happen that now. Is it true or false? Third statement. Third statement is true or false. I got some responses true and I got some responses false. Whites. Can you give me that what's going to happen that here? Is it true or false? What about the first expression? That is the left side expression. This is true. What about this one? 5 is less than 4. 5 is less than 4. No, right? This is the false. Whenever this is the false, obviously this entire statement is going to become the false. You see that only the first one is the true, remaining true or false. Yeah, this is the true, this is the true. 5 is greater than 4. Yes, this is the true, this is true. Then it's become the true. But what about here? High is equal to high, but this is the caption, this is small. No, here it is going to get failure. Obviously, it is the failure is nothing, but no need to check this side. Okay, obviously it is going to return the false. So now let's come back to this section. Okay, high is not equal to the small case of the high. Yes. Both are not same. Yes, both are not same. Yes, this is the true. True and okay, if this is the true, it is coming to here. 5 is less than 4. 5 is less than 4. No, right? This is a false. True and false. False. See the beauty of the program. Are you clear about this? Logical and logical or? Type that CLR. So if you understand that, like what are like, I mean, the operators we are understanding so far. Less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, or double equals to, not equals to, or keyword, and keyword. Suppose, let me talk it thus now. The one more statement. So I'll take this sample one and I'll try to change. Okay, this one. Let me give that. Now what's going to happen that? What is the value it is going to return that? Now, what is the value are you going to have it? Is it true or false? Think it. Let me know. Think it. Think it. Now you should become like as a Python interpreter. False, false. Okay. False. Okay. Error. Okay. Good thinking. Okay, let me try to run it and let's see this. So what's going to happen? So we got it the false. So it is error, no error. So this is one expression and logical operator, and then another expression, logical operator, then another expression. So there is no syntax error. But why we got it that? The false. So this is the false. This is the false. R. R is nothing but yes, it is coming to here. But 5 equal to 6. This is also false. False or false. Then obviously this statement is going to become the false. Then false and whatever it is, doesn't matter that. Then it is going to become the false. Right? Yes or no? Suppose if I say, let me change this one to 5, sorry, greater than 4. And I'm going to change it here. This one I'll change it to that. This is not equals to. Okay, now what is the value we are going to have it? So what it is going to return that? Can you give me the answer now? First, what we are trying to do that? This is equals. Yeah, so this was the previous one. These are like just I'm commenting that for about your reference. So during the practice time, so just analyze it and uncomment it and try to run it and check the answers once again. Yeah, what's going to happen this now? Is it true or false? Is it true or false? So I see there's some responses saying that both combination, false, true, false, true. Let's execute this.
True, sir.
So it has become that true. Why it is true? So first it is trying to execute this statement. Suppose this is, what is the value it is going to have it? This is the true. True or whatever it is, doesn't matter that. What is going to become that? This statement is true. If this is the true, then it has to check if that's the second condition. Yes, 5 is greater than 4. Yes, this is the true, then true. True under true, then it has become thus true. Is it clear about this? Are you clear understanding the points? Yeah, we can use it. Suppose like instead of saying that suppose 5 equal to 6, I would like to mention this one as, okay, let me comment this one and I'll take it this new print statement. Suppose what we have defined is, so this is going to become that true, right? True. And what's going to become this one? This is false. And what's going to become this one? True. What about this keyword? Is it a keyword or is it like a expression? Is inbuilt Boolean keyword, right? Boolean data types, true or false, we are trying to understand that. Yeah, true or false. Yes, this is going to become the true. And a true under true, yes, obviously it is going to become the true. So that is actually what is happening internally in this statement. Okay, so let me conclude that one more operator, one more keyword. Suppose if I try to, sorry, if I try to print this statement, is it true or false? Hey, come on, man. So what I am asking this? I'm just asking the Boolean operator to print it again. Obviously, this is a true. But suppose if I say that this one, what's going to happen that now? What's going to happen this now? What is the output you are going to get it here? I need that output. Not to true, not to true. Any other answers? Not true. Let's see this. It's returned false. So true, it is going to reversing that. Whatever the result we are getting that is a true. What we are asking that? Not of that. Not to true is nothing but what is that value? That is a false, right? Are you clear about this not keyword? One more keyword, what we are understanding here now? Not keyword. Sorry. There it was. Yeah, or and not. So if you apply this on that, like suppose what is going to, okay, let me comment this. This is for about your reference. So what is the value we are going to get it now? What is that output we are going to get it now? Not is like as a inversion, right? So what are the result we are getting there? That result, if you would like to reverse of it or inversion of it, then you can use the not operator. Suppose, now let me apply this not on this. On this statement. Normally what it is returning this one? What it is going to return this? This statement. This is true. But if I add that not keyword, what's going to happen that? What is the value we are going to get it now? Yeah, we are trying to inverse of this, right? So that is going to have the false. But is it applied that on this statement or is it applied on entire this statement, this not operator? What's happened? Is it applied that not only in this first expression or is it applied on the second expression or is it applied that on the entire the statement? What's happened? Suppose instead of doing that like a not operator, let me keep it this. Instead of keeping this not operator here, if I keep this not operator here, what's going to happen that? Is it true or false? Is it true or false? But before you were saying this is the entire statement. Now you are saying that this is true. How? Yeah, that is true. Why it is true? So this statement anyway true. True or whatever it is. This is going to become the true and true. Yes, true and true. That is true. But if I say this one equals. For reference, let me keep this. Okay, so now instead of that like not equals, if I use the equals, what's going to happen that now? Is it true or false? Is it true or false? Now, if we check it about it, what's going to happen that here? Is it true or false? Okay, this is the false.
False.
What's going to happen here? Is it true or
True.
false?
True.
This is true. Now, actually, 5 comparison with the 6. This is the false, but we are applying that not operator on that, the result. Not of that the false. It is going to become the true. And true. What is going to return that now? That is true itself. So not is applied on this expression. Even the here also not has been applied on this expression. It is not entire. Entire, if you would like to apply that, then you can use it parenthesis. Are you clear now? Now, first it is going to execute in the parenthesis what all the expression or statement you have defined that will be executed. Then it is going to apply that inversion of it. Suppose this statement, if it returns the true, then it is going to become the false. If this statement returns the false, then it is going to become the finally the true. Is it clear that not? You can apply that on entire statement, or you can apply this on the particular expression. Type the CLR in the chat window if you are good understanding all these points. Okay, so this, I mean, this is about understanding. First, if you have the clarity on these operators, then control flow next, whatever we are going to talk about, that is easy. That means if else statements. What exactly is returning that? Here on the base of this result, if a condition statement should be executed or not, it will be decided by the Python interpreter. Okay, let me create new file now. We go for that if else statements, how do we implement it? Okay, I have already defined that if condition. Instead of this one, I should have mentioned about that logical operators. Anyway, fine, let's go for that. If else. So first of all, let's try to understand the syntax of the if else block. Maybe if you know that like any C programming, we know that like how do we define if else blocks. So normally how do we define that? In the generic program, if, and then we write the condition, and then starting block, ending block. So here the statements we will write it. Else, in case that condition got failed, then here we will write it else statement. Right? This is the basic the programming. If you remember about like a C programming, we go for that like this format. But in Python, how do you write it this? So what is the syntax of that? So same as it is, suppose how do you write it is if, and then we define the condition, we use the colon. We don't define that like curly braces like as a starting block and ending block. So we use that colon representation. Colon is starting block. Then if you enter that, yes, you see that it is using that some parenthesis. I mean, sorry, not parenthesis, indent. Suppose if I start the statement here, STMT, there's some statement here. So it is going to become that error. So you need to use it within that, the if block, what are the statements you would like to define it. In the normal shell scripting or Java programming or C programming, we have the starting blocks and ending blocks to define it curly braces. But in the Python, there is no curly braces for the if conditions or the else conditions, or even the for loops also. Here we use the indentation. Indentation, how do you need to define is, so at least 2 spaces, if you use it, that's great. But recommended is 4 spaces, use it that. The 4 spaces. Or if you are using this kind of that editors, whenever you enter that, automatically it is using that indent. Then you can define about your statements. Like statement 1, statement 2. So like multiple statements, you can define it. But if you start that about your line from here is nothing but that is if statements have been ended. So indentation. So now what is the meaning of this one? This statement is belong to that if condition. This statement is also belong to that if condition. But if the next statement starts here, suppose if I write it statement 3, statement 3 is belong to that if condition, or is it normal the statement in the Python? So this statement, is it belong to that if condition, or is it a statement, or if statement or normal statement, this one? So it has been started from here is nothing but this is not belong to that if condition. So indentation is very, very important. Okay, let's go ahead and understand the examples. Suppose if I define that if 5 is less than 6 some condition. So use that like a parenthesis, or without parenthesis also you can define the condition, no issues on it. Then let me print it. Yes, 5 is less than 6. Else. So what is the meaning of this one here? Now if statement is ended here, now we are starting the else block. Else. Print. If I define that here. So what we can define here? What we can print it here? What is you are expecting that? False statement. Yes. This is false statement. Okay, now if I try to run this program. Now if I try to run this program, so what's going to happen that? What is that value we are going to get it? Is it first print? Is it yes, 5 is less than 6? Is it first or second one? What's going to happen that? Or a true statement or false statement? Let me give that. Is it true statement or false statement? True statement is this one, right? 5 is less than 6. Is it true or false? 5 is less than 6 is the true. If this is the true, then it is going to execute the statements. So print yes, 5 is less than 6. But do we get the chance of this statement? You see this, what is like the warning message that is giving, that is, this code is unreachable. So what are the condition we have defined? Always, whenever I run the program, always it is going to run the same statement, right? Is it the meaning of this one? Do you have the meaning for this else block? But if I run it always this program, what's going to happen that? Only this statement is going to execute it always, right? It never comes to this statement. This code is unreachable because we have hard coded the values. 5 is less than 6. There is no dynamic here. Always 5 is less than 6. Yes, that is true. If this is the true, obviously it is going to execute this statement. Always only this statement. There is no meaning of that else statement to define for this kind of the condition, right? Are you clear my statement? Yes, you can define it, no issues. Yes, this is the correct. There is no, I mean, there is no a point of that incorrect. This is correct only. But whenever you are defining the statements, logically you need to think it. So here what I'm doing, that I'm hard coding that 5 is less than 6. Obviously, 100 times if you run this program, or 200 times, 1,000 times, doesn't matter that. It always going to become the true. And only this statement is going to printing. It never comes back to this else statement. That's why even that like editor is giving that warning message. You see that this code is unreachable. But instead of hard coding that 5 is less than 6, suppose the first first variable, let me just stop. Yes, first variable equal to 5. Second variable equal to 6. Then if I say this, first variable, second variable. Then you see this like automatically editor is not able to find it. Maybe this first variable, what is the value? Second variable, what is the value? It is not able to find it. And it is saying that because it can be dynamic, right? I can assign that 6 over here and 5 over here. Then it is going to changing that. Are you getting the points on this? Suppose now first let me run it. 5 with 6. Yeah, S5 is less than 6. First variable is 5, second variable is 6. Yeah, 5 is less than 6. Yes, it is. This is going to become the true. If this is the true, then this block of the statements will be executed. That means we are defining the control. If this is the true, execute these statements. In case this is the false, now let me bring this one to the false. 6, and I'm changing this one to 5. Now what's going to happen that? Is it true block or else, I mean, if block or else block? Which block is going to executing that? Else block, yes. 6, first variable is 6. 6 is less than second variable. That is fine. 6 is less than 5. This is the false. If it is the false, the control is moving to that else block. It is not going to execute this statement. The control is moving to that else block. And in the else, what we have defined? Yes, this is the else block starting representation. This is the if block starting representation. So in the else block, it is coming that what we have defined print. This is a false statement. Yes, if I run this, we got it. This is the false statement. This is the else block. Are you clear about that? Suppose if I say that, what's going to happen just now? Is it if block or else block? Just type that if or else block. Which block is going to executing that? Okay, okay. No block. Okay. Anyone else? Else block, else. Yeah, there is no concept of the no block. Here, either it is going to execute this block or this block. Suppose, what do we have given? 5 is less than 5. 5 is less than 5? No, right? This is the false. It is become that the false is nothing, but obviously the control is moving to that else block. What it is going to print it? This is a false statement. Yes. Else block is trying to print it. Are you clear this point? Type the CLR in the chat window if you are good understanding all these points. Everyone quickly. Control flow. If it is a true, true statements. If it is the condition is failed, then else block. Yes, you are controlling the statements. If so and so condition is true, execute these statements for me, or else go to those statements and execute those statements. That's you are controlling about your interpreter by using this if else. But if you are defining is nothing but you need to define the condition. But how do we define the condition? That's we understand with the operators. The logical operators, Boolean operators. Now let me define that with the Boolean operators also. Suppose so what's going to happen that here? What's going to happen that here? Is it always true or is it always false or what's going to happen that? If I run, if I execute this program, so what's going to happen that? There is always condition met, right? Yes, it is going to print the condition met. Suppose if I define that else, condition not met. Okay, so that like what's going to happen this now in this context? Is it always a true statement or it is a else statement? Think it, everyone. So this is the time to come up with this the programming. It is not like as the machine. I mean, the big deal to learn that, but try to understand what's happening. That analyze that statements, analyzation, analytical skills. Already we discussed that's a true. True is a boolean. If true, obviously this is the true. Then always it comes to this statement, right? Condition met. Where do you have the scope to get this failure? No failure, always true. Then actually the statement is no more required to define it. This is honestly we have defined, right? Yes or no? Are you getting the point? Yes, this is always true condition. But suppose if I take this program and if I say this, what's going to happen now? Is it if block or else block? Is it if block or else block? Which block is going to executing that? Is it going to execute that if block or is it going to execute the else block? Condition met. Why it is condition met? Suppose if I run this, so why it is going to execute the condition met? Here, what is the boolean we have used? False. That means this condition is a false. If it is a false, it is moving to the else block. If it is a true, it is executing this block. Or in case if it is the false, then it is moving to the else block. That is a condition. So here condition not met. Always it is moving to that. The flow of execution, condition not met. That is else block. Else block is going to try to executing that. Are you clear about this statement? If I say the true here, this is the boolean keyword I am using that. Boolean keyword. Always the condition here it is true. But if I use it, what's going to happen that now? Which statement it is going to executing that? Is it if block or else block? Else block. True. We are specifying that. But not true we have specified. That means inversion of it. That is a false. If this is the false, this is not going to executing that. It is moving to that immediately else statement. So else statement, yes, this is going to try to printing that. Yeah, condition not met. Or if I say this not false, what's going to happen here? Is it if block or else block? That is about if block. Yes, condition met. We have defined the false, but not false. Not false is nothing but that is the true. If this is the true, this block will be executed. In case if this is the false, then it is moving to the else block. Suppose if I say like this, now what's going to happen that? Is it if block or else block? Which block is going to execute in that? Do you have this any true keyword? Throws error. Name true is not defined. Did you mean true? Yes, this is the Boolean true. I mean, so that like I was talking about it, Boolean true or Boolean false. First character must be caps. So now this is the Boolean keyword. Yeah, this is a true. If this is true, it is going to executing that. Anyway, we know that print statement. Even that false also is the same thing. If I just define like this is the invalid keyword. We don't have that. Python is not having the false with the, I mean, all the small letters. But we have the inbuilt keyword with the F caps and the false. Is it clear about this? I'm going to use that not keyword also. Yes, just use it while practicing. Fine, let me just give that for today's last one more example. Suppose if I define that, so what's going to happen this? What's going to happen that if I run it? Okay, good. So obviously this is the true statement. Yes, 2 equal to 2. Yes, that is a true. We are talking that's all these conditional. So what it is written, the true or false. If you remember these points, then we can understand that what it is written over here. Suppose if I say this option, so what is going to happen that? What it is going to print now? That is a false statement. Yes, true statement or false statement. Yes, this is the syntax of that if-else block, but we have the nested if-else statements. And tomorrow we'll talk about that some more the realistic examples to understand exactly the if-else blocks with the nested if-else. Is it clear today understanding about these, what about that? The logical operators and as well as understanding, let me just rename this one. This is logical operators. Yeah, so here we are understanding this all the logical operators first. So what exactly is going to happen that, so with less than, greater than or equal to, or greater than or less than or equal to, and double equals to, not equals to, or and not, and two more Boolean keywords, but not zero not belong to here, but overall what we understand, just I'm just representing over here. They're all like a Boolean operators. Yeah, so that is about like logical operators, Boolean operators, then if else condition, how does the syntax would be. So indentation is going to play very, very important role. If the indentation is not there, suppose if I define that the print statement from starting here, then it throws error. At least you need to have that one statement for the if. But even that, like print, it is not accepting that. So if you don't have that else, that's fine. If you don't have that else, then you can define the print. Right? This is I mean, this print statement, is it belong to that if statement or is it a generic statement? This print, second print which I have defined, what's going to happen that? Suppose if I say like this, how many prints we are going to have it? How many lines it is going to printing now? 1 or 2? Is it 1 or 2? I see the some answers 1 and some answers 2. Okay, what's going to happen that this is equal to true. This true is nothing but this is going to printing. Okay, true is printing. And this is, I mean, this statement, it is indentation. If you observe that this print is not belong to that if. Whether it is if is true or false doesn't matter, that it is going to execute always. This is always going to execute that. Irrespective of this is not belong to that any if condition. This is outside of that if. Indentation is the same. But if I use that two spaces, then if is started here and ended here. Okay, let me try to use this. Okay, sorry. If I run this, now how many prints we are expecting? 2 prints. Yes, one is true. Yes, this because this is the true, it is entered to that if block, and always statement has been executed. But suppose if I mark this one is not equal to 2, what's going to happen there? How many prints we are going to have it now? Is it 1, 2, or 0? 1, 2, or 0? There's one print, right? This is always going to execute that. Because this is not belong to that if. Yeah, always statement is going to execute that. If this is the false, if it is the false, it is not executing and it is coming to that out of this if loop. Then this is going to print it. Suppose if I define this here, now how many prints we are going to have it? Is it 1, 2, or 0? How many prints we are going to have it now? Because these two prints are belong to the if condition. If this is true, these two will be executed. If this is the false, it is going to out of this. That means 0, no output, no print. But if I define this print here, what's going to happen this one? Now if I execute it, how many prints we are going to have it? So this is the false. This false is nothing but these two statements will be skipped by the interpreter. Then it is coming to the same indentation. Okay, here it is started. So it is going to try to execute this one. This is not having the dependence on the if condition. This is generic statement. But if I mark this one, then what's going to happen there? How many prints? Is it 1 or 2 or 3 or 0? Yeah, that's about 3. Because if this is the true, it is entering the if condition. In the if condition, we have the two statements. How the interpreter knows that this if condition is having the two statements? Here the indentation. Indentation is the king. Suppose by mistake, if I move to this print to this one, then what's going to happen that? Now if I execute it, how many prints? Is it 1, 2, or 3, or 0? Type that number. Okay, this is the true. It is entering that if. This will be printed. And next if is ended. Because in indentation. So this is, I mean, all are in the same line. This means this is not specific to that if block. This is the generic statement. Okay, this is going to printing and this is going to printing. Yes, we will get it the 3 statements: true, always statement, and hyphens. Suppose if I mark this one is not equals, then how many prints we are going to get it now? Is it 1, 2, 3? How many? Come on, man. So just analyze it and give the answer. Only 4 or 5 members who are active, they are always giving that, the answers. But remaining people are silent, just watching what's happening there, right? So if I execute it, so this is the false. If it is the false, it will be skipped. Then the interpreter is coming to that, okay, next statement. Next statement started here. Okay, this not belong to the if. Okay, let's execute this statement. Execute this statement because these two are not of this if block. But if if I execute this, yes, always statement and a print is printed, but it is not printed if condition statements. But now if I move this, so what's going to happen that now? What's going to happen that's now? How many prints? Yes, let's execute this. No prints because they're all following that same indentation. That means indentation, these are all following that. That means these statements are belong to that if condition. Interpreter is going to understand it. Yes, these statements on the basis of the indentation, all these statements are belong to that if condition. So that's why indentation is very, 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 very important. Indentation is a king in the program. If that line is changed or indent is changed, then problems rise. Yes, you see that here? Because this is coming to that if, but there is no the condition-based block. Because here it is ended if condition. And it is started like a normal statements. But again, here you are using the indentation. It should not be. You should use it the normal. Yeah, so that is also keep in mind whenever you are implementing in the C program or Java program, you have that curly braces, if else block to define it, starting block and ending block. But in the Python, we don't have that curly braces. Colon is that starting, and you need to use it indentation. How many statements you have? All the statements of the if block, you need to use the same indentation. Are you clear about these points? If else syntax understanding and logical operators understanding that. Are you good to go ahead for today? You have learned something from the program on the control statements, control flow. Yeah, tomorrow we'll talk about that 1 or 2 real-time cases of the use cases on these if else statements, and then we go for starting about that. Next, another control flow, that is for loops and while loops. That is iterations we'll call it. Yeah, so that's all from my side. So any queries, questions, please let me know. Otherwise, we'll wind up for today. So type that everyone, CLR in the chat window if you understand the concepts today. Everyone. There's almost 12 members. I would like to see that everyone responds. Yeah, good, good. Be active like this always. feel very happy that if you see this like these responses. Good. Thank you. Thank you all. So we'll meet for, we'll end up for today and we'll meet tomorrow. Thank you all.